Roman Reigns' new Wiseman and Bloodline's possible direction teased by WWE legend. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer. Have a nice day. For the WWE family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. Roman Reigns was last seen on WWE Raw after WrestleMania 41. He lost the match, and his Wiseman, Paul Heyman, who betrayed him for CM Punk and then Seth Rollins. Now he's scheduled for SummerSlam to get some revenge. But what about his bloodline? Speaking on his podcast Off the Top, Rikishi went into details on how WWE could book the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline. With Jacob Fatu turning face and joining Jimmy USO, there seems to be a ton of possibilities. Rikishi said, "Zilla to come through. I'm trying to figure out when you're dropping those three names, Big Jim, Jacob, and Jay. I don't know whether it's time for Roman to come back and whether he has any plans to tie the entire bloodline together. But man, this is something new. You see Jacob and Jim on the same page, and how cool would that be to see Zilla pop in? Or Jacob's brother, Journey Fatu. If they book it right and you run the storylines right, it might be good for business. The bloodline is good for business. Definitely, Roman Reigns needs to be in that conversation. Would it make sense to have Roman come back and Big Jim and Jacob and Jay? And hey, maybe there's a new Wiseman there. Something people, they have been waiting, they have been asking. I like to give people what they want. While Reigns' return will be to square off against Rollins, his bloodline still needs a leader. Reigns' moniker of the OTC doesn't make sense if he doesn't have a bloodline to be the tribal chief of. WWE has also advertised Reigns for Survivor Series, featuring a War Games match. Could WWE set up the new Bloodline versus Reigns Bloodline much like they did last year? Roman Reigns has been absent from WWE programming ever since Raw after WrestleMania 41, being taken out by Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, who joined forces under the guidance of Paul Heyman, who betrayed Reigns in the WrestleMania main event. Reports in recent weeks have suggested that Reigns is set to return at some point soon to build towards the first ever two-night SummerSlam Premium Live event. Some plans have emerged when it comes to how Reigns will be presented upon his return. According to a report from WrestleVotes on X, WWE is looking to package Roman Reigns as the OTC one, or the Tribal Chief one, offering up a new presentation and moniker for the former multi-time world champion. Although not confirmed, this is said to be the leading idea right now for Reigns' return. Prior to his hiatus, Reigns was going by just OTC. It isn't stated why WWE is looking to make this alteration to Reigns' presentation going forwards. Reigns has been busy during his time away from WWE, being cast in the new Street Fighter movie, taking up the role of Akuma. Fellow WWE wrestler Cody Rhodes has also been cast in the movie. Cultaholic is now on WhatsApp. Follow us here. Sign up to the Cultaholic Wrestling newsletter now. Hiroki Goto may have seen his reign as IWGP World Heavyweight Champion come to an unexpected end, but the New Japan Pro Wrestling veteran isn't exactly stepping out of the spotlight. Instead, he's gearing up for a brand new challenge outside the ring, one that involves the big screen. Fans were stunned recently when Goto dropped the championship to Zack Sabre Jr., fueling speculation about whether injuries might have forced his hand. There's been chatter about a possible elbow issue, but sources indicate that other opportunities were also in play. Behind the scenes, Fightful Select has learned that Goto has secured a role in the upcoming Street Fighter movie, where he'll portray the iconic sumo wrestler Honda. It's a significant step for the wrestling star, who's been a fixture in NJPW for years. He won't be the only wrestling connection in the project either. WWE superstars Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are attached to the film, adding even more star power to the adaptation of the beloved video game series. Reigns will play Akuma, while Rhodes will play Guile. WWE could soon bring back a familiar face. According to WrestleVotes, the company is hopeful about featuring former two-time Intercontinental Champion Santino Marella on programming in the near future. Marella, currently signed with TNA Wrestling, is remembered fondly by fans for his comedic timing and memorable moments during his run as a WWE superstar. Despite not being under a WWE contract for many years, he reportedly maintains a strong relationship with WWE behind the scenes. Sources indicate that WWE still sees significant value in Marella's star power and nostalgic appeal, which could translate into special appearances or guest spots. There's no word yet on whether talks have involved an in-ring return, comedic segments, or simply cameo appearances. But WWE appears interested in tapping into the fan fondness for Morella's character. John Cena last appeared on WWE programming at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, where he defeated CM Punk to retain the undisputed WWE Championship. His next appearance on WWE TV will be on the July 18th episode of SmackDown. After that, Cena will appear on August 1st episode of SmackDown, which will be the go-home edition of the show for SummerSlam. Then, on August 3rd, Cena will defend the WWE title against King of the Ring winner Cody Rhodes in the main event of SummerSlam 2025 Night 2 at MetLife Stadium. Cena will only make 2 television appearances on the road to WWE's biggest event of the summer, because he's busy filming upcoming Netflix movie Little Brother with Eric Andre in New Jersey. Drew McIntyre has made it clear that his sights are firmly set on reclaiming the WWE Championship, and he's not interested in going through John Cena to do it. Speaking to Sports Illustrated, McIntyre declared that he's returning with a new mindset and is determined to become champion again. "I'm back to get what's mine. It's time for Drew McIntyre to be WWE champion again. Get what I deserve, get what I've earned," he said. Despite being asked about potentially ending John Cena's career in a high-stakes title match, McIntyre dismissed the idea of facing the 17-time world champion, saying Cena isn't the same performer he used to be. "I've never had a singles match with Cena. He's been ducking me his entire career. Don't know why," McIntyre said. He tore CM Punk apart that one week on the microphone with a pipe bomb. "I enjoyed it, and I was like, God, I'd love to come back at Cena on the microphone. But he's not the same John Cena. He's a little B***tight these days. So I don't want John Cena, I want Cody Rhodes." McIntyre described Rhodes as the ideal target, praising his work ethic but insisting he's the one true top star. "Cody is everything, you know? Basically that he says he is. He does work his absolute $1 off. He is that talented and he's earned everything he's got," McIntyre said. But as I mentioned, Cena's not the same Cena. "I want Cody Rhodes. He's the best we've got right now until I beat him because I know I'm the best we've got." With his return, McIntyre says fans should expect an evolved version of himself, more determined than ever to capture the top prize in WWE. On July 7th, news broke that WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long's son, Antion Long, has passed away. Word of Antion's death emerged over that weekend as friends and loved ones expressed sorrow and shared memories on social media platforms, particularly Facebook. While Antion did not follow his father into a public career within wrestling, he was nevertheless familiar to many fans and figures in the community thanks to the Teddy Long's prominent legacy. He maintained an active presence online and had even posted a photo from Planet Fitness just 4 days before his passing, leaving many stunned by the sudden news. On the Wrestling's Road Trip After Hours podcast, Teddy had the following to say about his son's death. "He passed, I believe, last Thursday. We found him Friday. He was in his home and he was unresponsive. So basically, I'm waiting on the autopsy to let us kind of know what really happened. And he was lying on his bed, still had his clothes on and everything. And one of his friends came there and found him in the house. Nothing we can do. God's call. Roman Reigns is nearing his WWE return, but he won't be the same without the Wiseman by his side." Interestingly, a Hall of Famer has pitched the idea of filling those shoes. The OTC hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania 41. The night Paul Heyman turned his back on him and CM Punk to forge a new alliance with Seth Rollins. On the Raw after Mania, the Visionary expanded his faction when he introduced Braun Breaker and put Roman Reigns out of commission. Since then, the group has continued to grow and recruited Bronson Reed. Speaking on the latest episode of the Rikishi Fatu Off the Top podcast. Rikishi entertained the thought of Seth Rollins' faction going up against the OG Bloodline and Jacob Fatu. The Samoan Stinker, who hasn't been seen on TV since Survivor Series 2020, also pitched the idea to be the new Wiseman. Welcome. You know, to be honest, I think when it comes to those guys, you need the players. Definitely. Roman Reigns has to be in that conversation. Would it make sense to come back and have Roman with Big Jim with Jacob and Jay? You follow me? You know, maybe there's a new Wiseman there with the Bloodline. There's something people, they've been waiting. They've been asking. And you know what I mean? For me, I was like, to give the fans what they want. From Roman Reigns is rumored to return to WWE with a new moniker ahead of SummerSlam 2025. On the Not Some Wrestling podcast, Sam Roberts said he wouldn't mind if Breakker ends up being Reigns' opponent at the biggest party of the summer. I wouldn't mind Braun Breakker versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I really wouldn't. I think that'd be fun. Just something to get his feet wet. Just something to get things moving. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, Roman Reigns versus Braun Breakker. I wouldn't mind that. Fans have been clamoring to see the two men face each other in a battle of spears. Will WWE pull the trigger on this program? Fans must stay tuned. According to the report, production on the project will begin in August, with Reigns set to play Akuma, with Rhodes portraying Guile. In addition, it's now been reported by Fightful Select that former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Hiroki Goto will also be appearing in the movie. The NJPW star will play Honda. Goto hasn't wrestled since losing the World Championship to Zack Sabre Jr. at NJPW Tanahashi Jam on June 29th. There have been claims that the star has suffered an elbow injury, but these remain unconfirmed. Street Fighter began as an arcade game in 1987 and reached a pop culture high with 1991's Street Fighter II, which revolutionized one-on-one playing. Street Fighter VI, the latest game in the franchise, was released in June 2023 and won the award for Best Fighting Game at the 2023 Game Awards. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns remains slated to appear at the first-ever two-night SummerSlam in early August. The star hasn't been seen in WWE since the night after WrestleMania 41. At the event, Reigns lost out in a triple threat match against CM Punk and Seth Rollins, where Paul Heyman betrayed both Reigns and Punk to side with Rollins. Roman Reigns has been absent from WWE since the Raw after WrestleMania 41, and his next major feud seems to be with perhaps his greatest and most personal rival, Seth Rollins. The next chapter of this feud may kickstart as soon as Saturday night's main event, or may even wait till SummerSlam, depending on where WWE wants to go with the CM Punk-Seth Rollins feud, Roman Reigns' availability, and the plans it has for Seth Rollins and his world title hopes. Speaking of world title hopes, though, Cody Rhodes is set to challenge John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship at SummerSlam 2025. Rhodes, alongside Reigns and Rollins, forms the holy trinity of this generation, with the three men being the biggest stars of this generation and having legendary rivalries with each other. While Rollins was instrumental in getting Rhodes established as a bona fide main eventer in WWE upon his return, Reigns became the mountain Cody had to climb to finish the story and take over the reins of the company. The Reigns-Rhodes feud captured lightning in a bottle leading up to WrestleMania 39 and 40, and one could argue that without their dynamic, WWE would be nowhere close to the momentum and heights it reached these past few years. With their H2H record of 1, the outstanding quality and dynamic of their matches and segments, and the sheer star power and chemistry they bring to the table, a trilogy seems inevitable. And with Roman Reigns now a babyface, their equation while standing on opposite sides would not only be fresh, but also a sight to behold. It is very plausible that the undisputed WWE Championship is on the line one more time, although this time, the American Nightmare would be the champion if that is indeed the case, and he might even have turned heel by the time it is time for Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns 3. While the Reigns-Rollins story may be more personal and deep, one can argue that Rhodes is Reigns' greatest rival and vice versa. While a Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes rubber match has always been an alluring direction that could help WWE recapture the magic it has lost to an extent in 2025. What has exacerbated the potential for the feud and spawned the hype for it being imminent are the rumors of Reigns' new moniker being Tribal Chief 1 or TC1. This seems to be a direct play on Cody's self-proclaimed, though widely regarded position, the quarterback or QB1. If Reigns is indeed set to be marketed as TC1 going forward, it may foreshadow his feud with Cody Rhodes later this year or on the road to WrestleMania 42. The timeline in the Reigns-Rhodes feud would, of course, depend on multiple factors: the Rollins-Punk feud, Seth Rollins' world title aspirations, a potential Rhodes-Rollins feud, and Cody Rhodes' undisputed WWE Championship reign. The schedule Reigns and Rhodes will have over the next few months, considering both men starring roles in the upcoming Street Fighter movie, will also be a major determining factor in the equation. Nonetheless, their clash is, of course, WrestleMania main event worthy. They have only ever been on opposite sides in a Mania main event. And WrestleMania 42 may be the perfect stage for it at the Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes' rivalry isn't just a WWE saga anymore. It's gone Hollywood. The two megastars who headlined consecutive WrestleManias and have defined WWE's main event scene for years will now face off in the upcoming Street Fighter movie. Roman Reigns takes on the role of Akuma, a menacing and relentless martial arts force, forged in combat, much like the tribal chief, while Cody Rhodes plays Guile, a resilient hero and all-American icon. Even outside the ring, their stories remain intertwined. Directed by Kitao Sakurai, Bad Trip, Twisted Metal, the film adapts Capcom's legendary fighting game franchise and features a stacked cast including Andrew Koji, Ryu, Noah Centineo, Ken, Kalina Liang, Chun-Li, Jason Momoa, Blanca, and more. With 50 Cent as Balrog and Orville Peck as Vega, the project